Selectmen, Wednesday, January 18th, 2017. Please join us in the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. And on telly, needs about 5 minutes to get in here, so let's go to the public hearing, wants, boards, and selectmen's business. Approve the minutes of December 14, 2016.
So moved.
Second. Is there a second? Any discussion? There's none, all those in favor?
Aye.
So voted, except for review meeting minutes of December 7th, 2016.
Moved. Second.
Second. Any discussion? I'll move. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So voted. C, except for review of the minutes of January 4th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? There's none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So voted. Okay, communication reports from boards and town officials. Site plan review for additional park in the former Charlie Horse. As you know, it's been closed, and now it's going to be reopened. Guess they bought a building on the side there, and they're going to, for additional parking.
Mr. Chairman, as we do with any business or construction on Route 106 or 28, we try to get them to be cooperative and put in our traditional lamp posts that are so prominent now in our downtown area, but we like to try to extend that to the whole business district. So I'd like to request that if any light posts are going into the parking lot, they be that which is currently being used in downtown. And I believe we have the specs, we can send them.
Okay. Anything else you want to add before this goes over to the
Any shielding for noise,
or anything that?
noise for neighbors, just to take that into consideration.
Well, I know it's great to see this thing getting moving there, but it's sort of a family restaurant before, and a lot of people used to go there and have their traditional birthday parties, and there was a lot of activity up there. And certainly, it's great to see it going to reopen.
I'll make a motion to move that on to the planning committee, planning board with our wishes.
Is there a second? Anthony, you have anything you'd like to add on that?
I don't. Second.
Okay, you second it. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so voted. Okay. Conservation Commission notice of public hearing regarding proposed stormwater management.
Does this require any,
It does. It's really just an FYI. The new bylaw passes past annual town meeting, and the Conservation Commission is required to devise regulations pertaining to it to ensure compliance.
Okay, we'll be down by the end of the agenda before Ann comes in. Public comments. We have a new reporter here from the Enterprise, and we'd like to welcome you here.
Thank you.
And you give her your card, and your name is Shannon Gallagher, and welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Glad to be here.
Okay, Ann is here, so I think we'll just move back to Ann, and that's not right 205. Ann Iantelli, the town clerk,
Hello.
regarding
Annie?
You got it.
voting machines.
Yes.
So you have a few things that you'd like to tell us about voting machines, or?
Yep. Well, I had come to you back in the fall when we made a choice on the voting machines,
Mm-hmm.
and told you I would be back because I need a vote. And the vote is that you need to discontinue the AccuVote machines that we use now,
Mm-hmm.
and vote to start using the new DS200 machines that I purchased, starting with the annual election on April 8th.
We really need two
Yeah.
votes, one to discontinue and one to.
Yeah.
It's all in one
I did
motion,
give
actually.
you a
One motion?
Yep.
And it's all in one motion, and there's
Yep,
also
okay.
a paper that needs to be signed that I can send
Okay.
to the Secretary of Commonwealth to let him know that we've taken that vote.
If I could, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, Move per Mass General Law, Chapter 54, Section 34, that the town designate the use of the DS-200 scanner at all town precincts and any further centralized tabulation center for all further elections, beginning with the 2017 annual town election to be held April 8th, 2017, and to discontinue the use of the AccuVote vote tabulators.
Second.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I voted, you got the vote?
Thank you. And the new machines are supposed to be delivered on February 23rd,
Yeah,
and then we'll have a training on them, and they'll be ready to go for the annual town election. So
Okay.
thank you very much, and if you guys can sign that paper
yeah,
that I gave you, and then
Yeah.
I will pass that on to
all right.
the Secretary of the Commonwealth.
Great.
The public record access?
Yes. So as you know, there's a new public records law that went into effect on
Yeah,
January 1st.
Yeah,
And it has designated me as the records access officer. So I have written you a letter and come to you, and what I'd like to do is appoint all the department heads and chairmen of the boards and committees or their designate as also records officers. So I would become what they call the super record access officer, and they would be the heads of each of their departments, so that when I get a request in, I can forward it on to the appropriate department to get that request filled.
okay.
Would you then keep track of every FOIA
Yes.
request? So
Yes.
that department head would then send you a copy
Right,
as
so
well?
what I would do is have a form to send them that would tell them what has been requested along with the request, asking them to fill out the form and email it back to me when the request has been fulfilled, so that I can keep
Okay.
track of them.
No, there's different parameters now when you're asking for this thing. I guess you gotta come up with a response for records within a certain many days. Yeah,
10 business days.
10 business days.
Yes. Yeah, so if
It-
somebody files a request, you have 10 business days to respond back to them, either to fulfill the request, or you can ask them to give you more time. If they don't give you more time, you can also appeal to the supervisor at the state level to get more time.
Okay. So,
My only worry is a lot of these, I wouldn't say department heads, they're, responsible on a regular basis, but a lot of committee and board members are just volunteers and may not meet in that period of time. How are we gonna address that? We wanna make sure we're in compliance, but if they don't comply, there's no,
Well, that's, I guess, falls on me.
okay.
I'd have to keep after them.
Okay, all right, good.
You
That's
know-
all. I just wanted to make sure that there's gonna be someone to make sure that, again, they're volunteers, and I think one of the things we've tried to emphasize over the last 8 years is that even though you're a volunteer and, you're doing something to feel good to help your community, there's legal responsibilities to your position. It doesn't matter if you're paid or unpaid. If you're on a committee, there's legal responsibility. So I just wanted to make sure that,
I
that's
guess-
clear to them, and,
Since I put it on the website at the beginning of January, I've already had 9 requests, and a couple of them I've had to follow up on, but as soon as I did, everybody's responded. So I think it'll just be a matter of
great.
teaching and training these people that it's a legal responsibility, and we could be in big trouble if we don't.
That might be something good for our assistant town administrator to come up with some type of little, educational training
Yeah.
class or something for,
Yeah, because we had talked about doing different ones for different,
looks like it's already in the works, huh?
yeah,
Excellent.
yep.
Do you typically charge for requests? Or?
It depends on what the request is. If it's we used to charge 25 cents a page, but now you can only charge 5 cents a page. And they actually would like you to waive any of the fees that you possibly could if it's in the interest of the public, is what they say. Any electronic ones, they recommend that you don't charge for. So they've changed a lot of that. But if we send anything through email, for most times, we don't charge. We had
Yep.
in
Okay.
the past, and they recommend that we don't now. But it depends on how much work it is.
Yeah.
And how much paper it is.
Yeah.
If it's a lot of paper, then you can recoup your costs a little bit.
More so than the paper cost, I think, is the labor cost. If it's something someone requests that takes weeks of digging through basements and attics and books, and I think that's the big fear, at least that's what the law covers. I know, we try to waive it whenever we can, but if it's something big in depth and it takes a week of someone's time, that's where we could charge for that.
Right, and you have to be careful what you charge for, depending on your, the size of your community. We have a small community, so we could charge starting hour one if we had a lot of work. And you have to give an estimate to the person that's requesting the records before you do any work, so that they can either say yes or no, as to whether they want to pay for it or not.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's a lot of work and a lot of responsibility, so thank you. I appreciate you taking it on and helping us find some quick resolve, because
It's made a lot more work for you.
Yes, it has,
Yeah.
yeah, but hopefully once I get it going, it won't be too.
David, you got any comments, or?
I do not.
so we need a motion to declare.
No, just,
Nope.
No?
just, go ahead, Amy.
I'm sorry, all I want you to do is I want you to, I gave you a list, so you'd have to look at this list over, and if you agree with it, appoint these people.
So basically, the motion could be just to approve as presented.
Approve the records.
So moved.
Second.
Second, any other discussion? Any-
I think I'm sorry, Alvin, but
Go
one of the
ahead.
things I think we should do when people are accepting their position as appointees is have them sign a document saying that they'll abide by it, just like we do with the sexual harassment policy, the Ethics Commission bylaws. If we could add that as a sheet for the chair people, that they accept that responsibility. I know it's just a sheet, but at least then it's very clear that they were informed of their obligation.
I had put in your packets, I had given sample copies of letters to send out to the committees and the department heads, saying that they were appointed, and on the bottom it has a section that they have to come in and swear in front of the town clerk, take an oath of office that they will abide by it. And at that time, I thought when they came in to do that, I would also give them a guidelines as to what's involved with
Right.
being a records access officer. And I could also, if you wanted me to, put a section on that they could sign, saying that they've, like we do with the conflict of interest law.
Let's just add a page
Just
to
add
it.
that to it.
Yeah,
Very good, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
okay, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Oh, Annie,
Yeah.
we were just on the public comment period, and we have an election coming up, as we just said, on April 8th. Nomination papers are still available?
Yes, they are. They're available now, and they have to be in by February 21st at 5 p.m. And they need 28 signatures to get on the ballot.
What positions are open, or what's up this year?
So we have there's a selectman, one seat for selectmen for 3 years, one seat for the assessors for 3 years, 2 seats for library trustees, and those are 3-year terms, 1 school committee member for 3 years, 1 water commissioner for 3 years, 1 board of health member for 3 years, and 1 planning board member for 5 years.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay?
Annie, for clarification, is it the 21st or the 28th?
21st of February, they have to be back to the Board of Registrars. It's funny in our town because the 21st, it has to be in to the Board of Registrars, but the Board of Registrars is the town clerk's office. And then it has to be into the town clerk's office by February 28th, but in our town, it's the same department, so basically, it has to be in by the 21st. So that's why I just put that in there, not to confuse too many people. But.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Town Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So just a couple of items that are on it. One, as you can see, is the Riverbend Country Club. I know it's a split board as to what we should do with the country club in the future, but at this point, we have issued an RFP. The bids are due on January 20th, which is this Friday, so this is really just an FYI to the board. However, as a matter of what we actually need to do, and it's part of the process, is we have to have a screening committee to review the bids that come in. And after review of those bids, then present the winning bidder to this board as the awarding authority to, at that point, then award the bid. So I am requesting that the Assistant Town Administrator Mallory, the Forestry Superintendent Chris Iantelli, and myself be appointed by the Board of Selectmen on the screening committee to review the bids.
Now, is this gonna take town meeting action there, the final result of this, or,
Yes,
it's just not gonna be just a vote of this board?
that is correct.
So we'll have to schedule a special town meeting somewhere down the line?
That is correct. So the way the process would work is it's assuming that we have a responsible and responsive bidder, and the Board of Selectmen are in agreement with that bidder, then you would tentatively approve that bid. We would then call a special town meeting. Special town meeting then approves it. Then we enter into a contract. If the Board of Selectmen does not award the bid, or the special town meeting votes no, then we would not award the bid.
Okay.
So moved.
Is
Second.
there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is C and D are really tied together as well, is that the building inspector's vehicle currently has some major issues with it, including leaking fuel. So what we're looking to do is that I'm asking for a vote of the board to allow me to dispose of the vehicle in the best interest of the town. And then because our highway superintendent has retired, that vehicle is no longer in use, at least at this point. So I'm thinking the right thing to do, where it doesn't cost the town any money, is to transfer that vehicle over to the building inspector and let him use it in the meantime.
Would there be any, would he paint it or anything, or just leave it for
Yeah,
now?
just-
Because that one isn't in great condition either, is it?
Actually, it's in very good condition.
It is?
Yeah, that one's actually in very good condition.
David, in the past, when we discussed the building inspector's vehicle, I had talked to the police chief, and he suspects there'll be a four-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive vehicle retiring soon.
Yes.
Do we know the condition of the intended vehicle to be retired, or wasn't the one in an accident?
Nope.
Okay, because I'd like to see an all-wheel, those cars are awful in the snow. And the building inspector obviously works, in all conditions.
Yep.
So-
So the expectation is that the building inspector needs a vehicle now. Come springtime, the police department is going to have a warrant article to replace a vehicle. Assuming that gets approved, we're then going to take an all-wheel drive vehicle out of service. And then the hope at that point would be the board would be approved to put that back as the building inspecting vehicle.
Right.
Truthfully, then the next time that the police department replaces a car, I'd like to take that all-wheel drive vehicle and then provide it back to the highway superintendent. But that's exactly the right thing to do.
Great, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve as recommended by the town administrator.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So voted.
And the last thing on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, is this past week, I spent some time with the attorney representing the Department of Energy Resources for the state of Massachusetts. They have reviewed our municipal aggregation plan. They have approved it. And now at this point, we have taken that plan. We have condensed it into the format that the Department of Public Utilities requires. I've signed off on that and forwarded over to the Department of Public Utilities. Their review process is typically 3 to 4 months. After they review it, then we would be able to go out to bid and start soliciting an aggregator. So this is really just an FYI to the board and to the townspeople who voted to aggregate electricity at our last annual town meeting, that we're still working on it. We're just working through the customary process that the state requires.
Okay, so that's moving along. Very good.
Thank you.
Anything else, David?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, board members, anything else?
Yeah, just for future, obviously I don't expect anything now. Could we try to come up with a viable plan to allow dump stickers to be sold at the dump? I don't think it's been looked at in a number of years. I realize we may have to restrict it to checks only or something, but it's really, I understand we're doing everything we can through town hall so people can mail in a check and a copy of the registration, but it is kind of silly this day and age that they can't pull up and get a sticker at the transfer station. So maybe not for this year, but some type of a plan pulled together for next year. I think with mobile credit card machines and all that available to us now, it should be an option for people. And I know, we give plenty of options to get your sticker at town hall, again, rather in person or in mail or at night or day. But if we can make things easy for the residents, why not try?
Well, I'll look into it.
Thank you.
Anthony, you got anything?
I do not.
Okay, I guess that's it.
Motion to adjourn?
Okay. and
Second.
Just want to thank everybody for listening. And good night.
Good night.